Hey guys, I figured I'd get on here and make a video real quick. I'm kind of wearing my dingies. I've been out playing in the yard all day. I think I made a video yesterday where I showed you guys kind of what I was doing. Uh, just placing sprinklers and stuff. I was thinking about this the other day, and the only thing you ever really have to do as a gardener, of course, you have to plant seeds, right? You have to plant seeds, and you have to pull weeds from your garden. Weeds will suck the life out of your garden, right? Whatever you're pouring energy into that's not really getting a return on it, right? You want to plant seeds and then water those seeds. So, how do you do that? I mentioned this yesterday. Somebody made a post about how, about investments. And the only investment you'll ever make is in other people. You can invest in money, but the only reason that money is there is because of people. That's the illusion, right? And so, what are the weeds in the garden, right? The weeds are thought forms, usually. 99% of the time, they're all thought forms. They are thought forms. That's all that this is, right? Thought, moving emotion. They're thought forms that create a sense of kind of a feeding type energy. It feeds off of each other, right? If you can learn how to provide for one another and then be open to receive, expect nothing in return, that's how you climb Jacob's ladder. And that's how you learn how to cut the weeds out of your garden. Because you'll be a weed unless you understand where you're wasting your energy, right? Because if you're pouring your energy into something that's unconscious, it's because you are unconscious, if that makes sense. Why would you pour your energy into something unconscious? It's unconscious. It can't love you back. A car, a table, a chair. Now, I would love to pour my energy into other people and make sure that we're all to where we need to be, and then in our spare time build the things that we want to build for each other. It could be houses, could be things. I mean, that's how needs are met, and that's the number one problem. That's why there's so much unconsciousness in our society, and it's just because we pour our time into unconsciousness, right? So people's needs aren't being met. People are pouring all their energy into unconscious things, and so our needs are not met when that happens. And that's like if I'm trying to sell something to you, then I have it in my mind of what you might need when I have no idea what you need unless you I can listen. That's why there's so many reader channels, right? And the readers are starting to learn, right? You attract people where people's resonating with your message. Mostly they're uplifting, motivational speech type messages that are, channeled from spirit, and the reader already understands that they've gone through certain things to give people certain messages. But in the end, we just have to meet each other's needs. And if we abandon the people that are actually doing the work, that are providing for us, providing for our power, our electricity, our sewage, garbage services. There's so many services out there that those people do on a daily basis for communities who their needs aren't being met the way somebody else's needs might be being met, who is just working for themselves, right? Why is that? It's because we don't know how to throw the weeds out of the garden. That's why. The only thing that you'll ever need to learn is how to pour your energy into yourself and other people who are conscious and help raise their consciousness by doing so. And we will all become less of weeds, just feeding off of each other's unconscious energy, right? Why would I want to, you know, charge somebody for being unconscious? That just sounds just terrible, doesn't it? I would rather help them with whatever they need help with, right? Ask and you shall receive. But you have to be willing to ask first. And if you can't ask, then I am here asking, right? To help. You could help me build the most beautiful thing. ever known to man, that's ever been on this earth. Something that would last forever. A kingdom that would last forever. You know how to do it. By following the rules of the heart. Because the heart's the only thing that lasts forever. Everything else dies but the heart. If you follow the rules of the heart, then it will last forever. Everybody would be healed. You'd know there'd be no more attachment because the heart isn't attached to anything. The heart isn't attached to some temporary state of mind or being. It just is and loves unconditionally. Yeah. Are you guys vibing with this? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I need to go to the store and go take some stuff back. I have some different ideas about how I did something. Anyway, I'm not going to make a video of that unless you guys really want me to. Let's get an oracle card. This one stuck out. Be fearless. That's right. Be fearless. Tell people how you feel. I am speaking my truth. The only thing that you are wasting your time if you're all you're doing is spending your time making money, and that's what your focus is, because you're not pouring your energy into other people. Pour your energy into other people. See what happens, because then what you get in return will give you a really good idea as to where you're at, right? I mean, I've had to learn. You have no idea. I mean, you have to learn a lot about yourself over time, especially about your ability to listen, because that's the main thing, right? Is your ability to listen, and then your ability to provide something in return for what you listen to without judging, right? And it takes a lot of work to do that. It humbles you. And that's why those spiritual laws are so important, because you'll never get to the state of humility that it takes to climb Jacob's ladder if you have enough to where you don't depend on anybody else. We're all just cells in an organism. And if each cell isn't meeting the needs of the other cells, then there's a dysfunction. That's what we're actually witnessing a large organism come back into visible balance by each individual cell coming into balance by meeting the needs of the cells around it. That's all you're doing. Yeah. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. I don't know what else to add to that. It's so simple, right? And I have personally been blind to it for so long, because you don't really understand it when you're working towards money your entire life, until you really understand that all you're doing is breathing. The only thing you will ever have to learn to do is to learn how to breathe. And then you'll get everything you want. And you'll realize the only thing you ever wanted was to be loved and to love. And there really isn't anything else. And then we'll have everything, right? We will literally share everything. It's a weed in the garden if it feels like it has more right to something than you do. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Catch you guys later.